Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Pearl Daily here on the Audacity Network. Today we have another special show talking about the ladies taking L's. As you guys know, we just do not do it too well. But before we start, I have a special guest on the show. Why don't you introduce yourself to the people?
Hey people, Adam Brian Dada here. I am a serial entrepreneur, angel investor, and executive film producer in Chicago and across the country. And I have my roots in the red pill movement. I call myself a yellow pillar now.
Okay.
So I'm more focused on entrepreneurship, getting guys out of the grind, out of the 9 to 5, building something for themselves, and building their brand.
And you were on the original forums back in the day.
Yeah.
So how long ago was that?
Well, this is kind of crazy, but I was on red pill forums back in the 1980s.
Okay.
Before the internet.
Holy crap.
Yeah, there was something called Usenet, which was mostly dorks.
Okay.
I was a teenager, and my mentor as a kid, he was a red pillar before we knew what red pill meant. Of course, we didn't know it was red pill. It started in the seduction movement of the 70s.
Okay.
And then in the 80s.
I thought that was Neil Strauss, no? What was it?
Before.
What was it? Who was the guy back then?
Wow, that's a great question.
Put the mic a little closer to you. There you go.
That's a great question. I couldn't remember. I'll have to look into that. But there were guys writing books in the 60s.
Okay.
And it was about seduction, suaveness. And that wasn't really for me. I didn't have a problem dating when I was young.
Okay.
I had.
You were a natural?
My dad was a natural.
Oh, your dad taught you.
My dad was a natural.
Okay.
And he taught me the key tenets of red pill growing up when I was really young. And then I wanted to know about success. I didn't want to be like my dad. He's still around, but he worked 9 to 5. He grinded, made other people rich. I didn't want that. And one of the sides of red pill was, at the time, was how to be your own man, not going your own way. Wasn't like that. It was how to be your own substance, your own brand. And this was in 1989. So I was legitimately...
Are you talking about like mental point of origin?
Yeah, you could call it that now, sure. And the amazing thing is through all my career in the red pill, I always used my real name. Always. I never once hid behind a pseudonym. If you deep dive into Google and look me up, you can go back to the 1980s, 1990s. I never hid behind anything. It never hurt my career. It never hurt my dating life. It hurt my friendships.
Well, it's becoming harder to do that now, to hide behind like a pseudonym and play a character on the internet. It's not, because people start to come at the advent of TikTok, which is today's topic. Did you guys have the simp problem back then? Yeah,
so basically it wasn't as bad. What we had back then, we had guys, we didn't have ATMs when I grew up. That was I was before an ATM machine. So guys didn't have the ability to put something on their credit card, take a girl shopping, drool over her, all that stuff. But we had guys who basically chased women, thirst. Yeah. They were thirsty. We didn't call it thirsty. We just called them dorks. We didn't call them incels. We didn't call them thirsty. We didn't call them simps. We just had guys who literally chased women. My dad in the 1950s, when he, started his dedication to seduction, he had a lot of friends who were from Asia and Europe, immigrants who were simps in the 50s. Amazing.
Did you know I have been on the front lines fighting the simp epidemic for years? But I need to tell you guys about a quiet weapon that's being ratcheted up against men that is rarely talked about. It's not just the relentless anti-masculinity propaganda and OnlyFans hoes causing the societal issues that we discuss on this show. Did you know that the average city's tap water contains trace pharmaceuticals and endocrine disruptors? This often includes estrogen from birth control. The average adult consumes a credit card worth of plastic every single week. That's 5 grams of of plastic a week on average, so it's no wonder that the average male's testosterone is half of what it was 50 years ago. Testosterone levels decline 1% a year, and without a course correction, we are headed towards extinction. No matter how based you are, you should be naturally boosting your testosterone. My friends at CHOQ.com are on a mission to save mankind from extinction by boosting your vitality. Chalk's Male Vitality Stack contains premium and potent herbs clinically studied to naturally boost your testosterone levels, sperm count, and overall vitality. Just one of the many ingredients in the Male Vitality Stack was studied in double-blind human clinical trials to boost total testosterone 20% in 90 days. When you boost your testosterone, you'll have more mental clarity, you're more capable of making decisions and taking risks. Having high testosterone will also affect your pheromones, so women will find you more attractive subconsciously. Get the Chalk Male Vitality Stack right now on chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. Use my name Pearl as your coupon code and you'll get 25% off site-wide on chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. My name Pearl is the discount code. So guys, just a disclaimer before we start the show. When I do talk about the topic today, I'm going to make generalizations, but as you guys know, this never applies to every single person. When I say modern women, it does not mean every single woman out there, but I do talk about the trends that I personally have seen in my life. And one trend that I have seen is that us ladies do not know how to put the phone down. So last week we talked about the potential ban of TikTok and whether it's a good or bad thing. Now that really depends on who you ask. Some people think it's a good thing, some people think it's a bad thing. Personally, I always assume that if women want something, we have a tendency to get it. How has the pro-life movement done getting rid of abortion the last 50 years? Nada, nothing, naysky. And this is coming from someone that's very, very, very pro-life, as you guys know. You know, my family has dealt with adoption personally, so it's something that I think is wrong. But in some instances, you are just not going to win. I am predicting that with TikTok. Now, many ladies are losing their mind over this, and this is not a good position to be in. You do not want to be in the position where you are so reliant on a social media app that it completely destroys your business and ruins your entire life. But, you know, watching this meltdown has been extremely entertaining. Like, I have had a very good time. And I would argue that there are no apps that modern women waste time on more than TikTok. So what are they going to do? I think we'll find out in the next couple of days. But like I said on Monday, the best thing about TikTok is these ladies cannot keep their mouths shut. So, you know, back in the old days, grandmas, you don't think the grandmas were 304s? I mean, your your dad was screwing somebody, yes, right? They play innocent, but they yes, were doing the same thing.
Absolutely.
But the thing is, back in the day, there was no evidence. There was no proof. The plausible deniability, they will take all of the things they did to their graves. But now there is a digital footprint. And so I really hope it doesn't happen because I will have no women to make fun of on my show. And you guys keep me employed. Shout out to the 304s, the OnlyFans whores, and the crazy women out there, because I would have nothing to talk about if you guys were acting right. Now, there are women making TikToks about TikTok leading them to get divorced, losing friendships, and getting fired from their jobs. And today, we are going to look at some of the L's that modern women have taken from posting on TikTok. What is crazy to me is that I don't quite understand what a lot of these ladies were thinking before they uploaded. Now, to be fair, there's a lower barrier to entry when it comes to TikTok. On other apps, you know, we have a whole production here that we had to put together. You have to learn how to edit. Shorts and TikTok, you can literally click one button and post anything. It's the same problem we're getting with live streams. Like, there have been murders recorded on live. Now, we are going to look at a woman losing $190,000 a year job from posting on TikTok. So this is from Business Insider. I got fired from my $190,000 a year job at Meta for posting on TikTok, but there wasn't much real work for recruiters like me to do. So she had a $190,000 a year job. doing nothing.
Doing nothing.
Nothing.
Doing nothing.
And, you know, men, they have to toil to get to that salary. They have to fight. We're just giving it. Now, she said, I was so excited when I started my job as a recruiter at Meta in 2021. I love social media, and Meta made me an offer I couldn't refuse. $60,000 more a year than what I was making at my job at Microsoft. My total compensation at Meta was $190,000 a year. Crazy. Starting out, the onboarding process was really high quality, but when things started to get messy, I joined my new team. Everyone was new, including my boss. No one knew what they were doing. Everyone was confused, and there was no guidance. There wasn't enough work to do at Meta. After onboarding, we were supposed to start sourcing new talent, but there wasn't enough to do. My job involved recruiting Android developers for Meta, but there wasn't enough of them out there. So we were all reaching out to the same people. Our days were filled with training sessions and meetings, and our only goal was to reach out to 50 people. At Microsoft, I was reaching out to 500 or 1,000 people a week. My team had days where we just didn't do anything at all. At one point, I had to switch teams because I felt like I wasn't doing enough work, but HR told me I couldn't move for at least a year. I hadn't recruited anyone, so I was nervous I wouldn't get paid my bonus. But a coworker reassured me that I shouldn't worry. They haven't hired anyone in 2 years and still got their bonus. Before working at Meta, I wasn't active on TikTok. I had only posted 3 videos, but I started seething at all of the clips of people who worked at tech companies showing off the cool perks in their office. Since I worked remotely for Meta, I decided to make videos about Meta's great benefits package. It happened to go viral, and a lot of people at Meta reached out to tell me they had seen the video. It was nothing but good feedback because I was speaking very highly of the company. I decided to post about Meta again, this time talking about a company program specifically designed to introduce candidates to a career in recruiting. I thought it was a really great opportunity as most of my followers were diverse candidates, so I wanted to share it. This didn't go well. My boss called me and told me HR wanted me to take it down. I was so scared. I didn't want to break the rules, so after that, I decided not to share anything about Meta anymore. I was scared straight. I continued to post on TikTok, though I posted general resume tips and shared which companies were hiring or which companies helped with salary negotiations. It got human resources attention, and in January, they brought up my TikTok again. This time, I decided to put my notice in and quit, but they fired me the next week. They said that my posts were a conflict of interest. After leaving Meta in 2022, I got a job offer from LinkedIn the following week. It was a lovely company with great culture and amazing benefits, but my TikTok had grown so much that I decided to create my own reverse recruiting business instead. In April 2022, I quit my job in LinkedIn to focus on my business. Now I use the experience I gained working as a recruiter at Microsoft, Meta, and LinkedIn to advise people on their career strategy, resumes, and LinkedIn optimization. I had a team of 7 people, and as part of our services, we apply to jobs for our clients and help them get interview prep and salary negotiations. Now it feels like I get to help people and genuinely change lives. So I'm wondering your take. There is a trend on women leaving high-paying jobs. I've seen women leave doctor professions. I've seen women really high engineering jobs to post on TikTok. Now, as someone that works in media, it works out for some people.
Absolutely.
However, for every one winner, there are like 50 losers.
Corpses.
So what do you think about this trend?
Well, first of all, what she's doing obviously is a market form of hypergamy. So instead of marrying up, in a man's world, we want to get the most income that gives us the most stability. That's the ladder. The most income that gives us the most stability. Well, women, hypergamy, branch swinging, as you might have heard, they're always looking for more than just the income. What can they do to make their friends from high school and college jealous? What can they do in their careers that would make them feel like they're the superior person in the group? Because in the old days, it was the prettiest women with the widest hips who could cook and nurse babies that got the winners, right?
Mhm.
But the winners today isn't getting a man. You don't need no man. So what's the win for the woman? The win for the woman is looking at their friends from high school, their alumni friends, who's ahead of the pack there. Now, if you don't marry a billionaire, what do you have? Career, doctor, lawyer, whatever the case may be.
But they quit it. They don't.
Well, that's the
they don't
thing.
stick it out.
That's the thing. So you've got marry a billionaire,
Yeah.
which is great, but it's okay,
Yeah.
right? Socialite is okay. Then a step down is doctor, lawyer. I mean, a
Right.
step up is be a doctor, be a lawyer. Now
Right.
you don't need a man at all. What's better than being a doctor or a lawyer is someone who's beloved by millions. And TikTok, you know what a million on TikTok means? It means like $1.18, right? When you get a million, maybe a little bit more than that.
Gosh,
On one
it
video.
depends.
On one
Oh,
video.
if they get brand deals, it can mean
Right.
a lot.
But if they don't,
yeah,
it's $1.18.
it's very an unstable
But
career.
do women on TikTok care about the $1.18 or do they care about the 1 million likes on their video?
They care about the likes.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is business hypergamy for a woman. The billionaire husband used to be the win, but it's not anymore. So a woman would rather be a doctor than marry a billionaire today.
Yeah, that's true.
And a woman would rather have 1 million likes on TikTok than be a doctor.
So at the top is social media influencer. That's like, and then second is be a doctor,
Right.
and third is marry a billionaire.
Well, I think at the top would be being like a CNN talking head above social media. Maybe not anymore, though. Maybe not anymore.
What about a makeup and beauty vlogger?
So only if there's drama.
Okay.
Now, I don't watch a lot of makeup and beauty bloggers, but the ones that have the most drama are the ones that are top tier. They get the
So
most
like
engagement.
the TikTokers that are fighting with each other.
Right.
Oh my gosh,
Right.
they all fight with each
They
other.
start businesses with each other. They have a token gay man in every brand.
They totally do.
They do. He has glitter.
Yeah.
And then they fight with the token gay man for taking all of their branding. It's amazing, but that's
and then they
supremacy.
get robbed by a guy that's smarter.
Correct.
Yeah, that's
Correct. But again, it's not about the dollars.
No,
It's
not.
never. It's about
the
the
same thing
views.
with is OnlyFans? Because Kim Kardashian's worshipped, and you know what I think it is? The female fantasy is to be able to do the most degenerate thing and still get a high value guy at the end.
Absolutely.
So it's like
Absolutely.
Kim Kardashian still got Kanye. She still dates high level men.
And she
even
did
though
a porn.
yeah.
That was her beginning.
Yeah.
She did a porn with some athlete or film
Ray
producer.
J, I think it was.
I missed it. I didn't even see the porn. I heard it was pretty good.
I haven't
I
seen it.
didn't see it.
I've just heard about it. Like,
Right.
But it was before my time.
But the thing is, like, I think a lot more guys, especially the simps, they're forgiving.
Yeah, they are.
They're just happy that they're getting sloppy thirds or fourths or 40ths.
And the thing is, simp isn't about money
No.
or status. You know what's crazy? A guy could be so smart, so intelligent when it comes to business. And I'll explain to them, I'll say, this marriage contract is pretty stupid to sign. And they're like, no, it's about commitment. And I'm like, how is it about commitment? That person's divorced.
That's correct.
That person's divorced. Like, what do you get out of marriage?
That's correct.
And they'll die on, like, I could have every stat.
They don't have an answer.
They have no answer.
They have no answer. It's not sex. Unless she wants 10 kids, then you have sex 10 times, maybe. If you're lucky, 10, 20 times.
Yeah.
And those women, they're hyper fertile when they want to be, but they're not hyper fertile for the guy. So it's even worse for him.
Yeah.
She blames him for not giving her a baby. And then she doesn't want to have sex for a year. IVF.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's so crazy because there's like a difference between female intelligence and intelligence. Like intelligence with women and just straight intelligence.
Well, I mean, women are designed for hypergamy. They're not designed to be doctors and lawyers. They of course can be, absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyone who studies can be a doctor or lawyer. That's a license.
Yeah.
Right? It's not about intelligence. It's about being able to dictate what's in the book. But when it comes to a woman's survival versus a man's survival, she's the protector of the egg, right?
Yeah.
That's the key element there. How does that transfer to TikTok?
They're going nuts. All right, we're going to show the next one. She lost a tech job because of TikTok.
So, I got fired. Yeah, my big 6-figure remote tech job. Yeah, they canned me.
She had a 6-figure
remote
tech job. Men would never give this up.
No way. No way.
What do you need me to do? I'll do it.
And you guessed it. It was because of a TikTok. Last month I took a very quick video. I had forgotten to put my mug underneath my Keurig one morning, and so my coffee spilled all over the place. And I took a quick little snippet of the coffee everywhere. I turned it around my face. I said, fuck! I hit stop recording and I uploaded. And I did not use my big giant brain to think about the fact that in the background of that video, you could hear my chief product officer talking.
Oh no. Oh, that's bad.
I can't imagine the chief product officer what he was thinking.
Like,
or she.
You know, it's crazy. We had all these women saying we work so hard and we have all these bad work conditions, but we tell on ourselves
right away.
Because they'll show. You know, it's the same thing with the women that say being a mom is the hardest job. And then you see a vlog of a day in my life as a mom of 7. You're like,
are you kidding me? You have time?
Yeah, I'm like,
for this?
I'm like, it's not easy, but it doesn't.
But if you have time for recording, I can't think during my day of when I have time for recording.
Well, I'm like, you realize there's a guy a week that dies on a fishing boat in Alaska to give us crabs?
Correct. And his wife back home doesn't find out sometimes for weeks or months.
No way.
They're gone. They take the boat, and then when they come back, that's when they know they're alive. There's no internet, no text messaging, no.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's why I hate it when I hear conservative commentators say like men aren't doing enough, because it's such bullshit, because there's so many men that do such difficult jobs.
True.
It's just like really, really hard, draining jobs to give us the food that we have.
Do you think they should say urban men aren't doing enough? What are urban men doing?
What do you mean? Like city guys?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, there's still guys that run the infrastructures in the city. There's garbage men.
Yeah,
there's
I can appreciate
like,
that.
I mean, I ran the numbers once. Around half of men have an infrastructure job.
Yeah.
So that's
fantastic.
It's a little bit over 50%.
Sure.
And that's not including, like, if you would say finance, like you would argue isn't in it, but that's still an important
It's still an important job. Yeah, that makes sense. I can appreciate that. Every time I go into the city, I see a lot of guys who aren't doing anything.
Yeah.
So when I don't really say men aren't doing anything, but if I do hint at it, it's because those guys aren't doing anything. And they're basically living like girlfriends.
Well, I think the incentives just aren't there anymore. You have to, like, the guys have to ask, like, what's in it for them.
Right.
And if they're not going to provide for a family and kids, why are they going to do it?
And a lot of dads today are just giving allowances to their sons into their 30s and 40s. I've seen it with friends of mine.
No way.
No jobs for 5 years. And I was like, how are you surviving? And they're like, oh, you know, dad's paying my rent. Strange.
It's a weird time to be alive. Let's keep going.
Because I was in a meeting. Yep. It was about 4:30 in the morning. I was in my weekly team stand-up meeting. They were having a conversation that had absolutely nothing to do with me. So I went off camera, took the 20-second video, and hit upload. And I did not think anything of it until the next day when I got called into.
It's so funny. I just think it's so funny that their boss was in the background.
They're TikToking while they're working.
And now she's talking about it more.
Right.
So what's the next employer gonna think? Like, I think sometimes we think things are funny, and maybe they are. But it's not, you shouldn't put it online.
No.
Because the next person is going to look at that
and see it and see the proof.
A meeting with HR and my chief product officer, and they said, hey, somebody sent us this video, and we are immediately dismissing you from the company for gross negligence. And I said,
that's a woman who sent the HR the video, probably.
I bet. Yeah. TikTok's mostly women.
Competition.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've only been afraid that I'm going to get beat by women. I've never felt that way about a guy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Wow.
Yeah. And someone I dated was like accused of like stuff like that. Yeah. No, later. I mean, I don't think it was real.
Right.
Like, I mean, But but I was like, if he did it, you did something to piss him off.
Right.
Because,
Oh, absolutely. What guy's going to do that?
That's how I realized that some women deserve to get hit. No, seriously. Because there's someone I dated, and I
can name one.
I was like, you must have been doing something crazy, because he was never like that with me. I was like,
was he simping you, though? No.
What?
Was he a simp for you? No. Maybe.
I don't know.
Okay.
but anyways, the point is it was either false or she did something.
She did something.
Knew it, yeah.
I said it was great working with all of you, and I hung up the call and I said, holy shit. This is going to be perfect for my memoir.
Come on.
Oh my gosh, this is so bad.
Does she have a mirror? Does she have a mirror? Because that's not memoir material right there. I'm sorry. It's not.
You got to do more interesting things than getting fired to get a memoir. You know what? That's the problem. When Jada Smith has a memoir, it's all these, you know what? It's all these average women that just get crazy above average results.
Correct.
Like, nobody cares when, like, Amy Winehouse was really famous.
Sure.
But no one really contested that too much because her voice was phenomenal.
Correct.
Even Adele.
Yeah.
But Taylor Swift, guys hate because it's not that she's a bad singer.
No.
It's just she shouldn't be as famous as Michael Jackson.
That's correct.
Michael Jackson, like she can barely dance.
Well, I mean, Taylor Swift is the masculine father figure for a lot of teenage girls and pre-teenage girls. She is the masculine father figure for tens of millions, hundreds of millions of teenage girls whose fathers are not being the masculine father figure for them.
What do you mean masculine father figure?
She's a leader.
Oh, yeah.
She's daddy. She's literally daddy.
Yeah, and she's it's the female fantasy.
It is.
I think she's going to win. I think she's going to get Travis Kelce to give her a kid.
I think so too. I mean, she's the princess of America. She's the Disney dream.
Yeah, and I think it might work out too. Everyone thinks it won't. I could be wrong, but I think he's more like alpha than most of because she dated musicians before and actors.
Horrible.
Yeah, so they're kind of softer.
They're creatives.
So, yeah, not bad, but
no.
It's like it's not bad, but
in touch emotionally.
Yeah, and so she's gonna get then Travis Kelce, who's like a football player.
Right. He's macho.
Super Bowl champion.
Yeah.
I could see it working out.
I could see it working out too. But the question is she going to want to spend her billions, share her billions with them?
Yeah, that's the question.
That's going to be a great. See, that's going to be a memoir.
Who is the last Taylor Swift? Like of 20 years ago.
The African American lady who died of an overdose, Whitney Houston.
Really? You would have put her like the same as Taylor Swift?
Oh yeah.
No way.
Yeah, but guys liked Whitney Houston because she was pseudo hot. She acted. I mean, I don't think she was hot, but
Whitney Houston, was she?
She was skinny. She had a nice body. She had a great smile.
Oh, she is very pretty.
Beautiful eyes, great hair.
Was she always into drugs, or did she just do that? Because I don't think Taylor Swift's into like drugs or anything.
No, but if you tour that hard back then, you needed to take drugs, painkillers mostly.
For what?
It's brutal on the body. You're in toured buses. You're not in private jets. You're sleeping in tiny beds in the tour buses, going city to city. It's much easier today to not be a painkiller addict. Michael Jackson died of painkillers. Prince died of painkillers.
No way.
Oh, yeah.
She is beautiful. Wow. I didn't realize she was that pretty.
She had a great body. She was petite. And I don't know if there's any pictures of her smiling, but her smile, she was in that movie, The Bodyguard. And she was lovely in that. She basically played herself.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Everyone wanted to be Whitney Houston.
So you think she'll die of an overdose, Taylor Swift?
I don't think so. She has a private jet, and she's got dietitians.
What do you think her future is going to be?
She will probably age gracefully, and I think she's going to pull one of those disappearing acts for a while. How much more money do you think she needs, really? I mean, she's a billionaire, right?
Yeah.
I think she's going to raise kids. I'm not kidding you. I think she's going to disappear for like 6 to 10 years, raise kids. What more do you need?
Yeah.
You know? But she needs that husband, and Kelsey's probably the guy. He can be, so he's going to finish his career as a player. Then he's going to be an announcer. Then he's going to be a coach or assistant coach. Yeah. Then he's going to be a coach, and then they've got the money to buy a team.
That's smart. I didn't think about,
Yeah.
Do you think she'll divorce later? Because she has dated, like, so, I think public exes are like 20.
The game plan for me, if I was her, would be to have a lot of breakups leading up to a planned marriage that was stable.
Okay.
Because remember, her audience will age with her. And at some point, they're going to want to see her be a success in every stage of her life. When she was a little teenager, writing her music, doing her music videos, her audience was like, wow, she's so talented. Now she's owns all these, brands and businesses and whatnot. Oh, wow, she's so amazing. The next step is going to be marriage and kids. She's not going to be like that British princess who threw it all away.
Markle?
Markle. She's not going to be like that.
Yeah.
She's going to have a successful story. And it's probably been planned 10 years in advance, I would guess.
Yeah.
She's not going to be like Eilish. What happened to her? She could have been Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I think Billie was just too mentally unstable.
Correct.
Like, Taylor just seems... I mean, you could tell she's a little crazy, but she's a woman, right?
But the thing is, Taylor is feminine, Billie is masculine, truly masculine.
Yeah.
Right? She wears pants, Taylor wears dresses.
Yeah.
Billie wears sneakers, Taylor wears heels.
Yeah. I mean, for like a front-facing person, yeah.
Right.
Like,
correct.
That's like, there's levels.
But what's going to happen when Taylor gets married and has kids? Are all the girls who follow her going to want to do that next? Is it going to be a field day for simps?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think anything can stop this train.
How many quarterbacks are there in the world?
I don't
30?
see the birth rate like going up. I
don't think so
either. I
either.
think it'll keep.
Yes. Yeah, going down.
Yeah,
it's a bad thing.
I don't like to, I just got into an argument the other day with not an argument, but like they were asking me and saying, well, how can you do this content? Like, we got to fight against it. And I'm like, I'm not going to lie and say and sell hope.
You know what's going to save it, right?
What?
The W-1B visa, not the H-1B visa, the W-1B visa. The wife visa.
Yeah, women will not let that happen.
You don't think so?
No.
The Lithuanians and the Polish.
No. Okay, yeah. Let's say they start doing that. Number one, the passport girls become modern very fast.
Very fast.
So
my mom was
really?
a passport girl. My dad's second wife, passport girl.
Okay.
And
they became modern.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Brutal.
And I've heard women when I was in London, I interviewed a lot of women from those countries, and they would all tell me their moms told them to be modern. So even the traditional mothers, like, they tell their daughters to put off marriage, go to school, all that, be independent. Like, there's no stopping this train. Sorry, guys, isn't. I could lie, but it would be so much easier to be a conservative talking head and just say, you know what? Let's bring families back. It's not going to happen.
What's the next video? What do we got going on?
Hold on. I got to finish this one because it's too funny.
Yeah. Honestly, do I think that I should have been fired? I mean, nobody ever thinks that they should be fired. But honestly, no. They weren't really talking about anything super confidential. You could honestly barely hear them in the background. But alas, they found it to be a fireable offense, and so they canned me, and I have nothing left to do except for accept it. I mean, shit. I fucked up. It was an oversight. I would 100% accept that. They canned me. I can't do anything about it. So, of course, I thought, well, what would any college dropout who got fired from their job do next? I'm going to start my own company.
They all do.
With what? With what? What network does she have?
None. Okay, let's go to the next one. So we got...
Was she No, she wasn't HR. She was the hiring. She was
in tech.
Oh, she was in tech. That's right. Remote work.
The woman got fired from GameStop because of a TikTok.
So I got fired from GameStop for TikTok. For my TikToks. Oh my god, I'm dying. Yeah, my DM came, set up his computer, and was like, hey, can you come in the back? And I'm like, oh God, am I in trouble? He's like, just come in the back. I'm like, oh, fuck. And there's this white lady, this white HR lady. He's like, you know, do you have any idea why we want to talk to you? And I'm like, no. And I'm like, but I'm scared. She goes, oh, you should be scared. And then she's like, you know, do you do anything at work? I'm like, I make TikToks. She's like, oh, blah, 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 blah. I'll get to this in a second. Basically, don't be scared, but you're fired. Basically, they didn't like that I was disparaging certain products, like calling things stupid. They didn't like that I was making fun of certain customers, and they didn't like that I showed the safe in one video a bit back with stickers. Apparently that's a safety hazard.
Why would that be a good, like...
These companies spend a lot of money for product placement in the store.
Yeah.
The video game companies. The employees at the store have no idea what those companies are investing to be at eye level or whatever. And that's what keeps the stores open. It's crazy to disparage any client, amazing.
I just, when she said I was disparaging the product, why would that be a good idea?
I think people confuse critics with criticism. Critics are told what to criticize.
Okay.
They're not criticizing to the degree that you and I might.
Okay.
Professional critics know the limit, right? What's allowed by the brands.
Yeah.
It's okay. She was giving criticism.
What? Oh. Okay.
There was no comment on, you know, that I talk about warranties, pro, trade, price matching, any of that. There's none of that. No, it's just, you know, here's how you fucked up. I'm sorry. I have one shift left. It was on Friday. They're like, you're terminated immediately. Give your keys. Like, holy shit. Anyone who works at GameStop knows that there are some stores who do some very sketchy, illegal shit.
Whoa.
Which I will talk about probably next week. I will talk about it next week. Let's just say that. Some sketchy, illegal shit. And I'm really glad.
Women have the tendency to like hold things in an arsenal to attack you late. I see this in divorce cases a lot, where they just keep like a notepad of every bad thing you've said.
A mental notepad.
Yeah, every bad thing you've done. Yeah. Like even when I started coming out like with more right-wing content.
Sure.
When I was in volleyball, some of my friends were left and I just didn't tell them.
Right.
Because you guys are terrorists. Why would I tell you?
Of course. They're going to bury you over it.
I know. I'm like, I don't. This was in like during the first Trump election, which was super contentious. So I'm not trying to have problems at volleyball. I didn't talk about politics.
That was the Hillary election.
Yeah, I know.
Like, it's almost more important to say that because so many of the left thought it was a lock. They didn't even know that women existed who weren't pro-Hillary.
I remember sitting in my car with another girl from volleyball, and she was just bitching about what Trump winning. I hate Trump supporters, and I'm sitting like...
keeping quiet to yourself because she would hold it against you. Forever.
Yeah, well, and it wasn't even, at the time, I'm trying to get better at volleyball. That was the priority.
Yeah.
I don't need
external pressures.
I don't need
volleyball is a full-time commitment, more than a full-time commitment. It's a life commitment at the time.
And it was a D3 school, but it was really competitive. We were like top 20 in the country for Division 3. Yeah. And so it was
focused.
Yeah, it was like 4-hour practice, you know. So it was, I mean, it was crazy. I mean, for D3, but freaking
did you have any friends who were right wing? Conservative at least?
Yeah, I mean there was some, but we all like the conservative girls, I feel like we knew, but we're not gonna
wear the hat or wear the pin or talk about it.
No, especially not that.
Maybe not even talk to each other about it because you don't know which one of you will tell on you.
Yeah, exactly. And later she like made a video about me and was like disparaging me and like
that's perfect.
No, it was crazy.
All PR is good PR.
I guess, but my point is, I was like, she was talking about stuff I said like years ago, and I'm like, I don't even remember that.
You don't even remember
I
it.
know.
But she's holding it in her brain the whole
I
time.
know.
Rent free.
I'm like, I haven't even talked to you in like 4
Right,
years.
rent free in her head. That's crazy. And this gal was a key holder. She wasn't just this girl here on the video. She wasn't just a clerk. She was a key holder. She was managing and opening the store and talking garbage about brands. It's incredible.
Yeah, incredible.
Where is her dad to tell her don't do this?
Yeah, nowhere.
Where's her Taylor Swift to tell her don't do this?
She's got to be like, what would you say, mid-20s?
Mid-20s, but hints of autism.
Yeah, mentally she seems like 14.
She does.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's interesting that it's still online because she's going to want to get back into retail. Strange.
That GameStop corporate felt the need to reach out to me regarding TikToks, and that, you know, social media is just, you know, really harming the company. And I'm so sorry about that. I'm really glad that this was at the top of their agenda and not the myriad of other illegal things that people way above me are doing. Oh, I was curious if I could get fired for TikTok, and I did. Good thing Saturday was supposed to be my last shift, but I guess I got a Saturday off.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
painful.
I know. Next on the agenda, we have a middle school teacher who got fired because of her TikTok.
Story time about how I got fired over a TikTok. You currently work with me? No, you don't. Keep scrolling. Okay. So, at the beginning of the school year, I worked for a subbing agency. The subbing agency had me placed at a long-term assignment at a middle school. It's not my first year in middle school. I spent all of last year in a middle school. However, I moved and needed to go to a different school district. So, I had posted a TikTok regarding unhinged things that middle schoolers say. If you know a middle schooler or you love a middle schooler, they're the most unhinged people on the planet, and I couldn't love them more for it. So I posted the video, and it received a lot of feedback. It received a lot of likes. It received a lot of views. I was so excited about it. I had never had a TikTok go viral. I'm also a stand-up comedian, so performing and being able to make people laugh really meant a lot to me, and I was very excited about it. And then Monday morning, I got a text from the subbing agency that said, "Do not go into work due to the TikTok." I had not posted where I worked. I had not posted the city I worked in.
So she was making fun of the kids.
She's making fun of the kids. The customer, the paying customer.
I know, and they're thinking, how does this happen, bitch? What did you think was going to happen?
It's curious to me, like, again, where's the dad? Like, who raised her to do that to your paying customer? That's the king.
But even if it's a dad, how often is it a simp dad that will like never?
It's always a simp dad.
I mean, how often do you see like
it's always a simp dad.
An underage daughter dressed like a hoe?
Always.
And the dad
says nothing.
Nothing.
And the dad's driving her to wherever she's hoeing out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible.
They can't say no.
I mean, my dad at a young age told me the customer is king. He told me that. You know, the golden rule. Who has the gold? He who has the gold makes the rules.
No wonder we're in a simpidemic because the women are most of the customers.
That's true now.
Yeah.
And I am not new to education. I know better than to ever post a child's name, face, voice, or anything of the like. So I didn't. I offered to take the TikTok down, and they said, yes, take it down. I did. They made me wait a day to hear back and still fired me. There's a teacher shortage in this country, and even more so a teacher shortage, there's a sub shortage. Every day you go in a school and there are kids being shuffled into different classrooms. There are kids being just put in the gym because they don't have a substitute. I love my job. I love teaching. I'm actually in school to be a full-time special education teacher. it's my passion. So to be let go over that was absolutely heartbreaking. And to have to choose between my love of performing and my love of education.
Okay. Men know that they have to choose, that you can't do it
Yes.
all. Yeah, men understand it. But like there are some careers you cannot be in and have a stable 9 to 5.
This is such an important topic, Pearl. I mean, what you're putting out there.
Yeah.
This is such an important topic for young girls to witness. And I don't know anyone else who's actually covering this topic right now. And that's not me simping for you or the topic, but this is really like, if I was a father of a girl like that, I would want them to see failures.
Yeah.
And not only are they not accepting the L here, they're doubling down on it as it's a win, and they're putting more out there. She wants to be a teacher of special needs kids, a woman who was fired for trolling kids, goes on the air to potentially hundreds of millions of people, admits what she did as a win, and now says, by the way, I want to be a teacher still.
Yeah, and the thing about social media is a lot of times people only see the winners.
Correct.
Or they pay attention to the winners. Like
Correct.
back in the day, you knew if you wanted to be an actor or a musician, you were probably signing up for a life of poverty.
Of course.
That's most likely what it was gonna be.
Correct.
But now it's they just and it's probably hypocritical being in the position I'm in, but I'm like, look, for every one winner, there are 100 losers. I
More than that
promise.
now.
Yeah.
More than that. But the difference is, and the thing we can realize, the thing we can maybe agree to in this case, 20 years ago, you had 1,000 actors who made $1 million a year, let's say.
Okay.
Right. So 1,000 actors made $1 million a year. Today, you might have 100,000 influencers who make $10,000 a year.
Yeah.
And for them, that's a side hustle. They don't have to drive for Uber. They can go on TikTok. So it kind of makes some sense. Like your school is never going to fire you because you drove for Uber. Your school is never going to fire you because you shopped for Instacart.
Yeah.
Well, to them, the TikTok isn't them. They're not watching their episodes.
And male content is a lot more information based. So if they make media, it usually helps their career.
Correct.
Because men go through life where they have consequences for saying stupid things.
Everything.
Yeah, like if a woman says something stupid and she's pretty, the guys do not care.
Forgiven.
They don't correct. Yeah.
Even her husband.
Yeah.
Even her husband. Even her dad.
Yeah.
And of course, all of the guys, the white knights who are defending her, they will defend her actions. Even if she apologizes, the white knights will defend her actions.
So you did nothing wrong.
Correct.
Yeah.
On these TikToks, are the majority of the comments, are they from women? Do we ever look at that?
Let's see, this one says, I'm sorry you got fired, but when one door closes, another one opens. God has more in store for you. That's a woman. Tiny Tiff said, I subscribed to you today because I saw your video earlier than when this one came across my For You page. I'm so sorry. This girl says, you need to contact a lawyer. You did nothing wrong.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. That's insane. You never showed faces or nothing. I'm so sorry this happened.
Wow.
Come to Detroit. This is a guy. Come to Detroit,
He's
please.
simping.
This is unbelievable.
Yeah, he's trying to get with her.
Yeah.
What are you up to kind of comment?
That's so messed up. You did nothing wrong. Yeah. And so,
but she feels this now.
Yeah.
She feels like she did nothing wrong. So she's going to double down on it. It's crazy to see. And not in any of those comments is there a single father figure. Not one father figure to say, hey, hon, hey, little girl, let's back off. Let's take a break.
I'm trying to find any that said, I can't find any that are telling her to log off.
It's incredible. Not a single father figure. Completely missing from the discussion. And I mean, from a red pill or from a conservative or from an old-fashioned perspective, there always was a dad to say, it's okay. You made a mistake. It's okay. Let's
try to make it right.
Let's talk through this.
I mean, no wonder we don't know how to apologize.
We don't.
Yeah.
My dad made me.
Yeah.
When I would go and beat kids up or bully them, I was bullied first. Then I would turn it around. And because I was the foreign-looking kid, I would get in trouble with the teachers. So then my dad's like, look, you got that punch in. You won. Now in front of the teachers, now in front of other students, go and apologize.
Mm-hmm.
And he even told me it doesn't really mean anything,
Mm-hmm.
but you're doing it for show. You're doing it for the client.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we don't have that anymore. And it's pretty incredible, actually.
Yeah. Guys, if you have a comment, question, or concern, go to theaudacitynetwork.com, sign up for our yearly or monthly memberships. I'm going to read the chat right now. Normally you pay for every single super chat when you're, on normal channels, but here you can just go on the website. We are demonetized, so it does help. So Doug says, ask the guest what decade was peak symptom. I would say the 1990s with R&B music and the sitcoms.
Oh, that's a great question. So in the 80s, when I first started dating, guys were guys. I mean, we wore jean jackets and leather coats and greased our hair, and we would go out together. So it definitely wasn't the 80s. In the 2000s, it was a lot of .com money.
Okay.
A lot.
Oh.
And you don't simp when you have money in the 2000s, because a lot of guys who were dorks were all of a sudden heroes. Dorks, like, for example, Nine Inch Nails, Trent Reznor, he was a dork. He was in like marching band, right? All of a sudden he's got money, and now he's a cool guy, marries a supermodel. So I would say the 90s is probably correct. There was a lot of that R&B, a lot of that making, we used to call women queen. I didn't, but it was the beginning.
Yeah.
My queen. So it probably was the 90s. And I would think a lot changed at 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
A lot changed then, where men were strong, masculine men started to become more valuable. And I'm not saying 9/11 did that, but leading up to the late 90s, oh yeah, definitely peak simp.
Got it. They want to know how old you are?
I'm 50. I'll be 51 in a couple of weeks, I think. I don't really celebrate birthdays, though, but yeah, I'm 50.
Doug says the average male CEO is in his position for 5 to 7 years. The average female C-suite employee is 3 to 4 years. 50% of women in STEM fields quit after they have a baby or around the age of 43. Attention is currency to modern women. They'd rather have status and title than money. 47% of men in the country do infrastructure jobs. He had it wrong with Whitney Houston. After she married Bobby Brown, she wasn't that woman anymore. Billie Eilish destroyed her chances when she decided to they them it. He says Taylor Swift is masculine. Then he says she is feminine. Doug MPA, you didn't hear him right. He said that Taylor Swift is the masculine role model.
Right.
She puts out her ideas in music. Women are taking it in as the masculine role model. Even the great Kevin Samuels said he wasn't responsible for how people consume his content.
Right.
Micro said just because you're passionate about something doesn't mean that you're good at it.
Oh, a passion is the worst. Never do what you're passionate about. Passion is for your hobbies. Passion is for your loves. I don't do what I'm passionate about for an income. I do what I'm really good at, what I'm efficient at.
It's not really acceptable to shame or correct women you don't know that well.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But if they're posting in the public.
The next one we have is a woman said she found her voice in her marriage because of TikTok. So she lost her marriage.
Show of hands. Did TikTok end your marriage too?
Oh, no.
But around the time he left me, I started seeing videos of women being treated just so much better. And I started speaking up, and he didn't like that. So, like, I'm pretty sure he left because I got my voice because of TikTok. And recently, my girls told him I was back on TikTok because I took a break. And he didn't seem happy about that. So, TikTok, thanks.
Let's see the comments.
I want to know what her
TikTok?
body count was before she got married.
TikTok may have ruined your marriage, but it saved you. It was definitely a heavy contributor. I found my voice and discovered more about my queerness. Getting your voice because of TikTok was so real. I found out he was cheating for 5 years when I was 1 month postpartum. I might have stayed if I didn't have a community to give me hope. Mine had passed before I got here, but this app helped me avoid so much shit. Yes, it opened my eyes to see how bad things are. It's not the thing that ended my marriage, but it definitely helped.
Well, they said community, though.
Yeah.
So they don't have church, of course, which is fine. Not everyone wants that. And they don't have other moms because the kids don't want to play at the playground. They want to be at home on video games.
Yeah.
Right. When I was a kid, my mom had community. She had other moms at the playground. And they did stuff other than child rearing. Right. They literally did things together. My mom was in a bowling league with other women who were raising kids. So they had this community. And today, they don't. I don't know. It's not always church. The community they have is at work where they're all competing with each other.
Yeah.
Right? Uncool. Or what? Online.
Or it's like a salsa scene or like whatever the girl's into, like an anime scene.
Yeah, but that's all online though, isn't it? Mostly?
Yeah, a lot.
I mean, how many times do people go out anymore? Kids don't go out at all.
Not much.
The playgrounds are empty in the summer by my place. And I have a nice playground. They're empty. It's so crazy.
Really?
Yeah, it's crazy
No
to
way.
see. The kids don't ride bikes. We have a beautiful private street where I live, and the kids don't ride bikes. And my neighborhood is all young kids. They're all at home playing video games. The moms are at home.
Actually, I asked my sister if she didn't have social media, would you be left out? And she said, yeah. She said, if we, I wouldn't get invited to anything.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know about anything.
That's wild to me.
That's why there's no solution for parents either because, I mean, they all communicate with Snapchat.
Public school kids do.
No, that's private.
Really?
No, that's Catholic.
Oh,
That's
boy.
Catholic school.
I have some friends on social media, real life friends, but we follow each other on social media, and their kids are unschooled, and the kids are out beekeeping. Like the 9-year-old is lifting weights.
But the thing is though, even with the homeschooled ones, like once they hit 18, you don't know what they're gonna do. So some of them go like nuts, like
Rumspringa for the Amish.
Yeah. Like you can't. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. You can't really control it fully. There's stuff that can help, but you can't.
Right.
I mean, I've seen good dads with daughters on OnlyFans.
Oh, no. I mean, that's normal, though. That's normal now.
Good non-simp dads I've seen have OnlyFans. Like, I was explaining this to my cousin the other day. I'm like, look, I know you have kids and this is scary. You cannot fully prevent it.
Right.
If your daughter decides, like, they're young now, but I'm like, when they're older.
You can't stop it.
If she gets in the wrong group of friends, gets on the wrong content, there is, like,
love and be open for them to come back.
Yeah.
The prodigal son.
I knew one girl who, I mean, she was just so sexual from such a young age. Her mom, there was nothing else her mom could have done. She took away her phone. She would, she tried so hard to like prevent her from like doing crazy stuff, and she would go buy a burner phone at Walmart.
Just to,
like,
I have a guy.
She would like hide it in the bushes and just grab
it when she needed it. I have a guy I worked for in the 90s, ex-client, corporate guy, rich guy.
Yeah.
And he called me a couple of years ago and said his daughter was doing OnlyFans, and I told him, have the mom talk to her and say, we don't support this, but if there's ever a problem, you need to talk to someone. We're here for you. We're not going to judge you. We're not going to get angry at you. The girl did OnlyFans or whatever for like a year and a half, put away $1 million, and then came home because she was burned out. She was exhausted. She hated herself, and they helped her invest that money. And she was one of the lucky ones, but she talked about, I've talked to her since, she talked about dozens of girls that she collaborated with, and all of them are on drugs, face tattoos.
The average amount is $250. They don't make money a month. It's
unless
like $250.
Unless you're like top tier and good marketing.
Yeah.
It's crazy to think about.
I mean, that's why they crucified Tate, was because they don't like it when men benefit off of women's sexuality, even though the women were willing participants.
Right.
Men cannot monetize women's sexuality.
But that's such a strange idea because, I mean, I owned bars when I was younger, right? And we monetized women's sexuality, right? My bars, Friday night, 8 p.m., happy hour for women. Come in. It's free for women.
Yeah.
That was men monetizing women's sexuality.
Yeah. Let's see what's next here. Oh, here's another one.
I am literally still in shock that my husband just came home from work one day and decided that he's going to up and leave the family and has left me in a position where I have to find a way to save my house. But here we are. I'm going to tell you the story. But here's the deal. I am in the creator fund. And if 35 million people watch this, TikTok will pay to save my house. I know that's ambitious. You've already watched long enough. But if we can get a large amount of views, I can figure something out, okay?
What did you do to drive him away? Women leave for no reason.
That
Men
hair.
don't.
I'm not kidding you. If I date a girl and she does that to me, I think that's it. I think that's pure laziness at that point.
Oh, come on. Most guys are not leaving over the bun.
I would.
I know you would, but come on. The average American male, it takes a lot.
Can you do a video on the bun at some point in the future?
The
Red flag.
No, the hairstyles and outfits that you're wearing to signal to your husband you want to leave.
That's the one. That's it.
The sweatpants.
Sweatpants can be kind of hot around the house a little bit. The bun it would be game over. But yeah, what did she do?
Here's the deal. My husband comes home from work one day and says, I don't really like you anymore. I'm not happy here. I need to leave. And we have our conversation, and it basically ends with, don't stay if you don't like me. That's not something that's going to change because I'm not changing, right? But if this is something that can be figured out, if it's because of other things that are happening that could maybe be shifted, then let's talk about it. Let's try and work it out. He says, okay, we'll try and work it out, but he's going to Nashville on a work trip the next day. So that really gives it a couple of days to simmer, right? Well, wild twist of fate, his dad also ends up being on a work trip in Nashville. Something that he didn't even know about until he was already there. They don't work for the same company. It was just this wild twist of fate. After he talks to his dad, I don't hear from him at all the rest of that trip. We had been talking before that. He had called me a couple of times, and then radio silence, not even a text. Comes home and basically just says, okay, well, I'm leaving. I can't stay here. I don't want to be here. So not much I can do about that, right? It has been less than 2 weeks. He has already rented an apartment and he is moving out tomorrow. Like, I am looking at his boxes over there that are waiting for him to grab tomorrow. So I would love to keep my house. I have 200-pound dogs that were really his, but I'm keeping them because he works 12-hour days. And at this point, yes, I'm desperate. If you want to hear more, I did block his ass, so I will talk more about it.
How many views?
How many views? Yeah, I was just about to say.
Got 500,000 likes.
Well, that's pretty good, though.
That's really good.
She's going to be able to pay for some of the dog food.
But it tanked after.
Yeah, engagement. I mean, she doesn't have an engaging look to her. Bad production quality.
Where is it? When we were young, divorce is worth it. Don't trust the not all men guy.
Not all men.
What a gal. I don't see where it is, but
look at her. But okay, when her hair was down, she actually looked more feminine.
Yeah, I know. He was working 12-hour
12-hour days.
He's done. I don't agree with Republicans.
So basically, he probably branch swung, which is really rare for a guy.
I bet his dad told him to get the F out, or she was.
If he's close to his dad, that's a good father. Again, there's the father figure. Where's her dad in all of this, you know?
Nowhere. Oh my gosh. Where is it? I can't see. I can't find the one. Like, how far back is this? I just want to know how many views it got.
Oh, you have to.
I don't know. Probably a
that's
lot.
Okay. I'm not a big TikToker, so.
Oh my gosh. And she's got the gay. Do you think that I find that women go gay after a bad relationship?
Always.
But they don't mean it.
It's New York gay.
Did you hear?
Do you know New York gay?
No.
There's no guys to date in New York.
So they became
New York lesbians.
You hear Brittany Griner or whatever the basketball player? She thinks her ex-wife didn't get pregnant from the
IVF. She got knocked up
by her ex.
Is her ex hot?
I don't know.
Because I mean,
I don't know, but that's what
sounds fun to me.
So she's about to get paternity tested. So how would that work?
I would be all about it for me.
No, I meant for her because it wasn't her kid anyway biologically.
Correct.
So
she can't force it.
So is she on child support or no?
She would have child support because of the marriage. That's a mess. That happens to guys whose wives cheat.
Yeah, all the time.
And then the guy has to pay child support for 18 years because they accepted fatherhood of the kid.
Yeah,
but I would still do that. I mean, I wouldn't want to, but I would still do it because a father is a father is a father.
I randomly met a woman on a plane once that was the daughter of a dad that did, or of like.
Yeah.
And she said she could not figure out her whole life why she wasn't like her other siblings.
That's amazing.
She never felt like her
Wow.
other siblings were the same. And so, because she was the oldest.
Right.
And so her mom was sleeping with 2 men.
And she hit it.
And so she told the one that would be a better dad that
Married the simp.
Yeah.
Married the white.
And
I would do the same.
Yeah.
If I was a woman.
Yeah. And so then she had 2 kids for the guy after. They stayed together is the crazy thing, even though it all came out later.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, a good dad is a good dad, whether or not it's blood or not. I don't want to raise another guy's kids, but I would adopt. Happily, I would adopt.
Yeah.
And if I mean, I probably would step out on her, though, if that happened.
Yeah. Let's see. Now we got one that's losing friends on TikTok.
I have lost friends since starting TikTok.
What's with that accent?
Other creators,
British.
this has happened to you as well. Because I'll be honest, it's not something I was really expecting when I started. It would start off with them being kind of unsupportive. So I could see them watching my posts, but they wouldn't engage or even like acknowledge it. And that's fine, whatever. Like, you don't have to like my post. Nobody's under any obligation to like my content, especially if it's something that they're not actively interested in. Fine, fair enough, whatever. But then over time, it would turn into like little snide remarks or little jokes with the jag. So if we were going out somewhere, they'd be like, oh, are you vlogging this? Even though I don't do vlogs. Or if I was showing them something I bought, they'd be like, oh, hashtag sponsored.
So do you think she was being annoying or the friends were jealous?
The friends were jealous.
They're jealous.
She's awesome. I would watch her. Yeah. She's fantastic. The little glasses, the fairy eyes.
She's got, because I'm looking at her page.
She's awesome.
And I thought maybe.
She's big though, right?
I thought maybe she was oversharing. No, not even. I thought maybe she was oversharing or something. I was like, maybe that's why they dumped her.
No, it's jealousy.
No, but this is, all it is it's TikTok growth strategies. Like, this is actually a professional looking one.
It looks great. I'm looking at it over your shoulder here and it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I was like, wonder why.
No, it's jealousy. It sucks. It sucks to be a successful woman.
It would kind of turn into less contact, less replies to messages, to the point where, like, I'm not getting invited places with them, or, like, they're just not talking to me at all. It's just really weird, and I would love to know if that's happened to other people and why you think that is. I don't want to be really reductive and be like, oh, they're just jealous, because I don't think it's as simple as that, but I would love to know what it is that triggers people, I guess. I don't know. It's very odd. Also, I will say, and yeah, my hair's in sock curls now, but yeah, I will say I have made more friends from doing TikTok, so that is a benefit, I guess. But yeah, it's just very odd. I would love to know what other...
Not real friends.
No, not real friends. No. They're people climbing the ladder.
Yeah, that's
coattails. The posse.
You learned that really quick.
Really
in
fast.
Media.
Yeah. My friends are not even on the internet, like my real life friends.
They're the most stable people.
Correct.
Yeah.
But we don't see each other every day or every week.
Yeah.
You know.
But they don't freak. Like, women, it's kind of weird. If you don't contact them for a while, they get really mad.
Is there an app for that?
What?
Is there a real life, instead of social media, is there a real life app?
What do you mean a real life?
So the app doesn't actually, you can't interact on the app, but the app will remind you.
Oh,
hey, reach out to Pearl. It's her birthday. Hey, reach out to Pearl. It's the day that...
Facebook used to be good for that.
But there won't be an app. It would just be reminders.
Let's see. We got a flight attendant.
Oh, no, that one.
Yeah. There was a twerking flight attendant is fired from Alaska Airlines over a viral video filmed while waiting 2 hours for a pilot. A California flight attendant was terminated from her job after she posted a now viral clip of her twerking while waiting for a pilot on an empty flight. Nellie Diala, a former flight attendant for Alaskan Airlines, was terminated from her dream job after a video she posted to TikTok of her twerking on an empty plane went viral. The video went viral overnight, but instead of love and support for it, it brought unexpected scrutiny, she added. She captioned the video, which garnered over 72,000 views, "Ghetto bitch till I die. Don't let the uniform fool you." Wow. What a cow.
So twerking is simp magnetism.
Yeah.
There's no way a man of value would even...
No.
No way.
No.
I mean, like, if you were dating a guy and he was paying attention to girls twerking, you would lose respect really fast, right?
Yeah, especially she's so mid.
She really is. I'm looking at her.
I mean, if you're going to simp over a girl twerking, I expect her to be an
hot.
8 or hot. Yes. Hot. Yeah. Then I'm like, all right.
Yeah. 36, 24, 36. Yeah.
All right. I get it. She's really attractive. I was celebrating at the end of probation and making it out of a hard upbringing in San Francisco, something many people in the industry can't relate to. Although it was a poor decision on my behalf, it would cost me my dream job, she wrote. Oh my God. You know what's crazy? Men, when they take L's, they don't make excuse. I saw a man, I was watching a video the other day of a guy in prison for child support.
Yeah.
And he was making no excuses, even though the system is so unfair with that.
So I work with a lot of guys as a consultant, and I tell everybody, blame me. Just blame me for everything. If anything goes wrong, put the blame on me, and I will accept it right away. And then I accept it and move on, and it actually gives me value. Clients like that I take the bullet for my guys, for my employees, my crew. I always tell them, even if it's their fault, you get caught smoking weed in the bathroom, just blame me. Say, Adam said it was okay. Even if I didn't, just blame me. Yeah. Taking the L is professional.
Yeah, she can't take an L. Oh my gosh.
And also, I think she might be a economy class flight attendant.
What do you mean?
I doubt she's a first class flight attendant.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Her celebration was short-lived as Alaska Airlines terminated her employment just 6 months into her contract.
So she went to school for 2 years.
I explained that the video wasn't intended to harm anybody or the company, but they didn't want to listen.
It's incredible.
Without warning, they terminated me. No discussion, no chance to defend myself, and no chance for a thorough and proper investigation. What is there to investigate?
You're in uniform, getting paid. On company time.
Just start an OnlyFans. Just do it.
There's got to be a ton of OnlyFans flight attendants. I'm sure there are.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you're twerking and you just start an OnlyFans. Yeah. You got the clout from this. It's time to get naked.
I had a Lyft driver who had her OnlyFans QR code in her car.
Holy crap.
Yeah. I didn't scan it. I mean, I scanned it because I didn't know what it was. It didn't say OnlyFans. It had the logo, but I didn't know what the logo was.
What % of attractive women do you think have done some sort of sex work?
Attractive women?
8 or higher. I want to see if you say what the PI said.
It's probably 1 in 5, 20%.
I think he said 40. Yeah, of attractive. Yeah. I mean, you can't say you didn't do, like, if you're fat, it's like no one was going to buy anyway.
No, no. The kink market is much smaller than people realize. Yeah. Much. The kink market are the guys that you know in your neighborhood. If you're a fat girl and you got a couple of simps in your neighborhood, they'll pay to see you naked. But there's no way some guy in New York is going to pay for some fat girl in Los Angeles. No. Not happening. No.
Dada has since reposted the twerking clip with a new caption, "Can't be yourself anymore without the world being so sensitive. What's wrong with a little twerk before work?"
She reposted it.
People act like they never did that before. The footage was posted along with the hashtag discrimination is real. "I never thought a single moment in my life would cost me everything," she wrote on the fundraising page, which has received $646 of its $12,000 goal as of Thursday. "Losing my job was devastating," she added. Now, Dada intends to devote more attention to her lingerie and dessert ventures.
No.
Which, by the way, guys, if you want to donate to a good cause, we have the GoFundMe for our divorce documentary.
Yes, that's a great cause, actually.
The description. We have the right crew now, so we just have to raise the money. So we already have for the first month. So, good.
And that's something men actually need to pay attention to. You know what's amazing about this flight attendant? So a flight attendant is one of the greatest opportunities for branch swinging hypergamy that exists. Because you're meeting... Of course, you're meeting a lot of broke guys, right, who fly once every 10 years, but you're also meeting the road warriors, right? And these are guys who have money, and you're right in front of them. I mean, you literally have an opportunity to meet more men. You're not a bartender. You're not a massage therapist.
If you could go to first class. Do you know what's crazy? I'm going to tell you the biggest L I've ever seen a woman take.
Yeah.
So my dad is a friend who has box seats at the Bulls
game,
and so we went to the game.
Oh,
and
no.
and so we it was, I don't know if you've seen Bend in One, but it's like you have your own box.
Of course, I have clients with access.
Yeah, and so they'll go around and bring you food.
Of course.
And there is a woman that brought us dessert, and I'm thinking that is such a great opportunity. If you
fit, pretty, makeup,
you're bringing the dessert. Like
Correct.
who's
You're the win.
Who's unhappy to see the dessert? She was like 300 pounds.
No.
She was so fat, and she was
Doesn't
like
make sense.
25. Yeah.
Again,
And I'm
where's the
thinking-
father? Where's the
I'm
mother?
like, you could generational wealth.
In literally 1 3-hour sport game, you could build generational wealth one time, one meeting.
Bring some dessert to the players.
It's
You
incredible.
want to go for
Yeah.
like the athletes? Yeah,
Right.
there's
I mean, but the thing is, a lot of guys who, so I have a lot
the
of clients.
owners. There's
I have a lot of clients who have box seats, and I bet say it's 50-50 between alphas and dorks,
okay.
right? So tech dorks who have box seats, those are the guys that you want to get with because they're not sleeping around. They're not running around. You know, they're ready.
Yeah.
They're ready. They want to meet someone pretty. They're going out, they're buying box seats so they can
Yeah.
meet pretty girls. And you're 300 pounds.
All you had to do was not be fat. You know what? I'm very big on working with, if the woman has a type, right? I
Yeah.
was thinking about this the other day. If you like pookies,
Yeah.
that's your thing. You know how the women
Fine.
that can't get away from pookies?
Fine.
We got to just find a pookie with a job. With a job
and-
that's stable enough that'll work. Do you
and a-
like rich guys? Go work for the box seat place.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
But there are pookies with good jobs.
There are.
They are out there.
I said athletes, or not, sorry, coaches. So you could get like
Oh, yeah.
if you're not that attractive, go down to the retail level.
Right. I have a friend who's a pookie, and he's a manager. He manages forklift operators at a warehouse.
Oh.
And he is totally a pookie, and he makes a ton of money. I think he makes like $250 a year.
Yeah.
That's a ton of money. And I mean, the right girl,
I mean, he's gonna cheat.
he's going to cheat.
Maybe at work.
He cheats with everyone. Every new girl that comes through there.
Look at
Yeah.
look at.
Yeah. I think he told me he had got 4 notches in a week with new girls after the training, after the
He's
internship.
gonna get in trouble.
No.
They might sue or
Oh,
something.
no.
Oh.
He's masculine. He's got charm.
I don't know. They've been taking down a lot of masculine guys lately. I mean, Joy Taylor's gonna take down all of them.
I heard that.
Yeah, I'm like, you better be careful. Oh my gosh, I just can't believe this woman doubled down. All right, next we got. Apparently, I'm supposed to mute this because of the copyright. So wait. Okay, wait there. Oh, there. This is it.
Oh no. Is that the original video?
Yeah.
That's supposed to be attractive. Wow.
Why would
Who are the guys who are chasing this?
Why would you think that would be a good idea? Now, I will never fly Alaska again.
Oh, there's
Any
a guy's
airline
comment.
where Nelly Diala is working. I will. Oh my gosh, that would be if someone did like titty planes, like where
Oh,
they're
yeah.
like a topless plane.
Actually, Hooters had an airline.
No way.
They sure did. Hooters had an airline, and they hired very large-breasted women as their flight attendants.
No way.
Wearing the tight white Hooters tank top. I'm not kidding you.
Oh my.
It didn't last long. It probably died in the 90s, but
Oh my god.
you're going to have to look that one up. But Simps would love that.
I mean, the flight attendants used to be hot. What happened? They're not hot anymore.
So what happened was the flight attendants union, and by the way, flight attendants work really hard. So I'll never put down someone who works as a flight attendant, but the flight attendants union kept women in the job much longer than it used to. And again, it's a career, right? Women wanted to work until their 40s and 50s and 60s, so the union protected them. In the old days, pre-union, the airlines would cycle them. There used to be a great American Airlines flight attendant training center in Elk Grove Village. Fantastic. It was all young girls, fresh off the bus, right, from St. Louis and East Dubuque and Jackson Hole.
Huh.
Never been in a big city before. And they were all beautiful, fit. And they were the bubbly ones, right? You should be a flight attendant. They weren't pretty enough to be a model.
Yeah.
They couldn't act. Flight attendant. But then the unions came in, and now you see a lot of, and again, not disparaging them. They work really hard. I mean, I fly 140 flights a year. I'm on the flight all the time. I tip my flight attendants, right? That's how much I'm thankful for them. But they get older, you know.
Yeah, I guess a lot of them have been doing it for a while.
A long
but
time.
I see. Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I respect it. For me, I don't want hot flight attendants.
I
right?
just don't know. I don't think I could do that job and not get really fat. like it'd be so hard to have like a proper nutrition. And,
There's
like,
no
work out.
nutrition. They don't eat anything good.
Yeah, like you can't cook ever.
No,
you
nothing.
Can't.
It's
I'm
terrible.
sure some of them have figured it out. If there's a will, there's a way. But for me,
I fly with
be...
a flight attendant on United. She's so fit. She's so beautiful. She's married. She eats healthy, and I've talked to her about it before, and she just told me that it's literally a job for her to stay fit.
Yeah.
Like she lands random cities all the time. She's got her Planet Fitness membership or whatever. She goes to the gym. She doesn't eat the airport food.
Yeah.
You know,
it's a lot of discipline.
It's a lot of discipline.
Yeah, to not eat the easy food in front of you.
And
I'm sure they all party in every city.
I was going to say she gets invited to the bars.
Yeah.
Right at the hotel that the airline puts them up in, and then they party. And I used to party with flight attendants. I mean, I was on flights. I still am. I don't party anymore with them, but even 10 years ago, get off a plane, talking to the flight attendants. Hey, where are you staying?
Yeah, and one time I saw this couple I thought was so cute, and I was talking to them, right? And it was like a couple, and they had a friend.
Yeah.
And the friend told me that one was a pilot, and he was cheating with the girl.
Yes.
I thought it was like the cutest couple, and she was a side chick.
One of my first girlfriends, her dad was a pilot, and her mom was a flight attendant. And then the mom retired, and the dad still piloted to Germany. Yeah. And I asked the girlfriend, and my girlfriend was beautiful. I said, doesn't your mom care? And she said, as long as it happens outside of the U.S., they have an arrangement.
Yeah.
She just accepts it.
Yeah.
Pilot.
If it's in a different country.
He's in a uniform.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, who's going to say no to that?
Yeah.
Right? In control of 300 lives. That's catnip.
That is.
That's catnip.
Well, what are your final thoughts on the women losing their jobs because of TikTok?
It comes down to what I said initially. This is hypergamy, but instead of women getting a better husband, they're just getting more fans. And I think women competing with women is a natural aspect. If you're beautiful and you can attract top tier guys, then you're going to be competing on marrying up for real hypergamy. This is entrepreneurial hypergamy. The women who had husbands obviously aren't taking care of their husband's needs, obviously.
Yeah.
And they're ignoring their kids, they're ignoring their students, they're ignoring their friends, they're ignoring whatever it is for the likes.
Oh my gosh, that's so true. They ignore. It's so obvious they're not paying attention to their kids. But it's
catnip. I mean, getting followers is so sexy. Going from even having 100 followers going to 1,000 followers.
Yeah.
That's dopamine.
Yeah.
That's a turn on for
So,
them.
do you think that the top of the female hierarchy is clout above getting the best, like the hottest guys?
So I don't think the hottest guys matters as much anymore. I think the richest guys doesn't matter as much anymore. I think if you can lock down the hot guy and lock down the rich guy, that's clout. But followers is more clout.
Yeah.
Because it's not one guy.
Women worship the
Correct.
Kardashians. They don't worship like LeBron James's wife.
No.
Who else is? It's so rare to find celebrities that have been married a long time.
It really is.
And you know what? The only ones women worship is like George Clooney's wife, who got him when.
Correct.
Where she like.
He was done. Yeah. He was done.
And she was 35.
Right.
And
she was hot though, right?
She was.
Yeah.
But
fit,
it's still
skinny.
the female fantasy to like lock him down older.
Oh yeah. But I mean, he used to drive around LA in his convertible, and the only thing that shared a bed with him was a pig. He had a pet pig. It would ride in the car with him.
No,
look it up. So
what? Okay, wait.
I don't want to give away too much information, but I know someone who's a very good friend of his, and Clooney used to drive around Rodeo Drive, and he was hot then. He had the big old bushy eyebrows, and he had a pet pig.
Shut up, he did. Look at this.
And Brian, can you get that up there? And I don't want to give away any of my knowledge, my friendship base, but basically I know someone who's one of his best friends, and he would kick girls out of the car when he would go get his pig because the pig went with him everywhere.
That's so funny.
Isn't that amazing? Can you imagine being
hilarious.
a hot girl? I mean, he still is hot, but he was really hot, suave, good BSer.
Yeah, and she just got lucky.
But he was ready.
Yeah.
I mean, let me tell you something. I'm 50, right? I still got my drive. I still got my cocky behavior, but I'm not 30.
Yeah.
Right? 50 is a good time for a guy to settle down. I'm not exactly there yet, but it's a good time. And if I was a George Clooney type, I probably would be like, hey, you know what?
Yeah.
You win.
Yeah.
Right? In the media, you win. Is he still screwing around?
Yeah, of course.
I'm sure they have new pills now.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on
Thanks,
today.
bro. That was awesome.
You want to tell the people, you got any social media website you want to plug?
Not really.
Okay.
I appreciate that. I'm really not here to promote myself. I'm here because I'm really excited about your documentary that you're working on. And the topic today, I think it's really important. Guys, if you are a dad, don't force this on your daughters, but somehow maybe get them to watch the episode, because I think this is an important thing to see, that women can throw away years of schooling, years of networking, years of building their reputation. They can throw it away for a TikTok, not even porn or a face tattoo or getting caught with drugs, for a TikTok. And I think younger girls especially need to know that it's not worth the clout always.
Yeah.
And be like Pearl, plan things before you say them. Thank you for having me on, Pearl. That was great.
Thank you so much. All right, we're going to read the chat one more time before we go.
Cool.
Also, guys, if you want to donate to the documentary, there's a link to that in the description. We're at about like 13,000 or 14 last I checked. So
amazing.
Our goal is to get to, ideally, our first goal is like 50, and then at least the basic is covered.
Right.
If we get a better edit at 75, but okay, so let me read the rest of what. Also, if you want to put a comment or question, you can always do it in the chat on the website. It's $10 a month, $80 a year. It's not really acceptable to shame or correct women you don't know well. Community is gone. Churches fail. Gaming and TikTok win. Women drink free bars are banned now due to equal rights. He doesn't understand what a pookie is. A requirement of a pookie is not having a good job. Tyrones
I can accept that.
Tyrones can have good jobs. Pookies don't. Okay.
But is a pookie socially?
That's what I was thinking, a pookie socially.
Socially.
Maybe I've been using it wrong. Maybe we'll define it next show.
I like that.
Anyways, guys, make sure you like the video on your way out. Subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I will see you guys next time.